Well, the good news is, as of 1:30 yesterday afternoon, I had the team ready to play Nevada. The bad news is we're not playing Nevada. We're playing Colorado State. So long night for everybody on the staff. Watching tape. Like I said, I got home yesterday. I watched 3 full games. Got up at 2 a.m., watched another game. Got in this morning, 7 a.m., watched 2 more games. And this is all our coaches so that we can be ready to prepare the team for practice at noon today for a very good Colorado State team, undefeated Colorado State, 1 of 3 left in the country. And it's just the nature of basketball right now. You look at the ticker, and half the games being played around the country are either postponed or canceled. So we're blessed to play basketball. We want to do it as often as we can. And we'll face a big challenge at Viejas Arena Saturday on national television against Colorado State.
Thank you, Coach. We'll open up for questions. And we'll start with John Schaefer.
Hey, Coach, good to see you. How's the health of your guards, Trey Pulliam and Lamont Butler?
They both practiced yesterday. They seemed fine. You know, Lamont, I thought, was going to play against UNLV, and that was a game-time decision. So I don't want to say right now that he's available. We'll see how he goes the rest of the week. Obviously, Trey, having missed since before Christmas, he's getting back into some game rhythm. So they were both out there on the practice floor yesterday, and hopefully both will be available for us against Colorado State Saturday.
From what you see on film, how has Colorado State improved from last year? And last year, they were one of the best teams in the league as well. But you mentioned the fact that they're one of just a few undefeated teams left in the nation right now.
They're gifted offensively. They're one of the top offensive teams in the country. A lot of that has to do with talent, a lot of it with coaching, and a lot of it is that they're connected. They've been together, this group, for 3 years now. And so they know where each other are. They know how to play together, and they're extremely dangerous at the offensive end.
One more for you. Did you feel as if last year's game at home was almost like a turning point? It felt like the season could have gone one of 2 ways. You had that large lead, you blew it, and then you ended up having this remarkable run in the conference. When you look back on that game a year ago, did you feel as if that was kind of an important moment or a little bit of a turning point in the season where you took advantage of what happened and made the most of it?
Yeah, well, not very often do you get to have a revenge game 24 hours later. So
that's right.
We lost a big lead at home, and we got to do it over in 2 days.
Yep.
We got to win. So that was basketball. I mean, obviously last year we went to Utah State, dropped 2 there, and it's just a long journey. The thing I'll say is I'm still excited to get my whole team out on the floor together. With injuries, with COVID, we really don't know what we are. And so as nice as it is to get Colorado State in here right away, I wish we had time to get everybody together. And in that February, when we first looked at the schedule and saw we were playing them in February twice, in the back of my mind, I just thought, okay, by February, we should be all together and connected. Well, we don't have that luxury now. We have to be connected and together Saturday at Viejas in order to get a big win for the Aztecs, and we will do everything in our power to make that happen.
Great. Thanks, Coach.
Dutch, how does practice change the next 2 days from what would be an ordinary prep for a team, given that you only have 2 days now?
Yeah, 2-day prep is not unusual. That's enough time to get a team ready. But what normally happens, Mark, is whatever assistant coach is in charge of that scout has already spent 2 weeks getting ready for those 2 days. They've watched tape. They know what it looks like. But all of a sudden, we found out yesterday that's the opponent, and so we all had to jump into film right away. And we can't give the team all the information. We have to give them what we think is important to win. And so we have to dissect all the games they've played this year, our 2 games from last year. So it's just a lot of rapid preparation. Now we'll go meet with the team and give them just enough information that we think will help us win the game without trying to give them everything. And we had to weed through that process. So it's a long enough to prep, but it's not a normal prep because of how quickly we found out who we were playing.
Earlier today, the NCAA announced it's changing its recommended protocols for coming out of a COVID pause or players who do get COVID or contact traced, and basically going from 5 to 10 days. It depends exactly on the case, the symptoms, but you can sort of be out of it after 5 days. You're in a county and a state that has not yet, to my knowledge, adopted that. The Mountain West is expected to adopt that today. All the other states in the Mountain West have adopted that 5-day. or are you going to be at a competitive disadvantage here, given that the differences in protocols?
Yes. Well, there's nothing I can do about it. So, yeah, obviously, if guys are on other teams are playing 5 days after contact tracing or whatever it is, and we're waiting 10, it's a competitive disadvantage. But at the end of the day, the county and the university and the state are doing what they feel is in the best interest health-wise of the student athlete and people in general. So I'll deal with whatever guidelines that are put in front of me, and we'll make the best of them.
And last thing for me, obviously you didn't play Fresno State at home. You're not going to play Nevada at home. How confident are you going to get those home games back? And would you like to see the league do something to get you those home games back, whether that means moving the games that you're supposed to play in Fresno and Reno back to Viejas Arena later in the season? But how confident are you that you're going to get to play either of those teams at home now?
Well, the problem, Mark, is the schedule's pretty condensed. There's not a lot of room to add games. And most of our league is going through the protocols right now where they're not playing. So I would imagine at the end of the year, they're all going to be able to play every game, and where will be the space to find us a home game? That's both us and Utah State have both lost 2 home games. So I don't know what it'll be, but, I was hoping – I don't mind playing Colorado State. It's a national televised game between the teams who were picked first and second in the league. I think it's good for the conference. But to me, it made more sense maybe to play Fresno at home to make up a game we'd already lost. They were supposed to come here anyway, but I don't know if they're out of protocol. So the league is doing their best to make everything equal, but I think that's hard to do. And I know it's not an easy job, and they're doing the best they can to try to give us all equal opportunity to play and then play equal schedules.
Great. Thank you.
Thanks, Mark. We'll go to Lee Hamilton.
Hey, Brian, question about Roddy. Most complete multi-position big man in the conference you've seen in a while?
Yeah, he's very dangerous, Lee. I mean, he's a lot like Matt Mitchell was for us, who was MVP of the conference last year. He's hard to guard. He can step out and shoot it. He can drive it. He can post it. In the post, he's a gifted passer. And so he's just a dangerous threat at all levels on the floor. And that's kind of what Matt was for us. And you saw he was rewarded with the MVP. So Roddy's going to be a hard guy to guard. We're going to have to find a way to slow him down. I don't know if we'll stop him, but we have to find a way to slow him down.
Question about your bigs. Are you getting enough point production out of the big bodies on your roster?
Yeah, at times we are, Lee. I mean, Nathan's had some really big games. We go to AG. Keshad's getting better. So, yeah, they've been productive. I don't know if they're double-doubles, right now for us. But obviously everyone knows offense is where we struggle. Defensively, those guys are elite. But we have to find a way to manufacture enough points to win games, and that has to be from a lot of different places on the floor, including in the low post.
Everybody's in scramble mode with all these games being canceled. Have you had any conversation with Mick Cronin about a non-conference game with UCLA, or is that stretching this thing too far that you got so many conference games you still have to make up for?
I think there'd be a time where, yeah, if you lost enough games, you might like a game like that, an out-of-conference game. But right now, with so many teams in the conference shut down, that when you have an open date, they're going to try to do what they did this weekend, piece somebody else in there so we can get the conference games played. So I think Colorado State would have played a UCLA or an Arizona. I think anybody in our conference would look for a game like that. But with so many programs shut down, I think it's going to be hard to do it just trying to make up conference games that have already been missed.
And because of the massive outbreaks nationwide and what's happening in the conference with so many shut down, are you back to daily testing of your players? Or how's that procedure look now?
If they get contact traced, Lee, they daily they will get tested. But we have guys that are double vax and boosted, and so maybe they won't get contact traced as much. So they're looking after our health. I've tested. We all tested after break. I don't want to get into specifics, but we're dealing with COVID every day in the program. So it's not convenient. It's not easy, but it's the world we're living in.
Great. Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Lee. Let's go back to Bryce.
Sorry about the technological train wreck there. pulled my act together in the last couple of minutes. I just was curious in a more general way, what's the most difficult part about all the uncertainty surrounding every program, your program right now? Used to be without COVID and all those things, if you can think back that far, you would be able to worry about your rotation and polishing that and working on getting better defensively and all those things. Now you're worried, are we rescheduling a game? Are we playing somebody we had no idea we were going to play 48 hours ago? You're ripping up scouting reports. It's like every day has to be this uncertain adventure kind of a thing. What's the toughest part about all of that?
I think it's knowing what pieces you have for the game. Obviously the preparation changes when it shortens, but all of a sudden we go into UNLV thinking Lamont's going to be back. He's not. We're short 2 point guards. We go into Colorado State, and all of a sudden maybe we're missing this piece and that piece, and trying to put it all together when you're unsure what your roster is going to be. And so I think that's the greatest challenge as a coach, is to say, we're minus these two guys. What are we going to do in 24 hours to be good enough to win? Or now those guys are back. We got Colorado State, and all of a sudden game day we find out we're minus two more. What are we going to do in 30 minutes to win a game? And so that's part of the challenge, and I learned a long time ago, you can't worry about things you can't control. If guys aren't available, I can't worry about they're not available. I just have to get the guys that are ready and available, put them in a position to win. And that's all I'm trying to do. I don't worry about, well, we lost this guy, we lost that guy. It's like, okay, how can we make Seiko a point guard for 38 minutes and beat UNLV? And maybe now it's, how can we play without this guy for 40 minutes? And how are we going to piece a game plan together where we can give ourselves a chance to win? So that's the hardest part.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw last night. You've got plenty of tape to watch right now, but Texas Tech played a top 25 game with 7 players. What do you think is the reasonable competitive limit? Maybe with your program or anybody, where's the bridge too far when you get a roster chopped down?
It's 7. That's what we have to play with. It. We have 7 healthy bodies. We have to play. And so we sent a list to the conference with 13 players on our available list, 2 of them walk-ons. But if it's 5 guys and 2 walk-ons, you have 7 healthy and a healthy coach, you play the game. So I like to play. I think it's a blessing to play the game. So, yeah, maybe we're shorthanded. Maybe it doesn't work out the way we want every time. But, I don't want to be that team that misses 5, 6, 7, 8 games because we're finding ways not to play. I'd rather find ways to play.
Is there – obviously the timing of the Colorado State switch there is not ideal, probably for either side. They've got to travel to one of the toughest places in the conference on the same day notice that you guys do. But is there more benefit or detriment to you guys rather than playing them later to catch them? I don't know. I'm making this up and brainstorming here. A little flat-footed. You get a shot at a national win, a big win in the net early on as opposed to later as far as resume building. How do you sort all that?
When the schedule came out and I saw we weren't playing them to February twice, I thought it was great for us because they have everybody back. So they're kind of already connected. I thought by the time we get challenged enough in the non-conference, we play conference games and I'm at full strength and everybody knows each other by then, it's going to be better for me. So I'm not making an excuse. If I had my choice, it would be to keep it the way it was and play them twice in February when I got everybody healthy. I got Lamont back. I got my full team back. And we play together for 2 or 3 or 4 weeks before we play them, and then we know what we are. Obviously, our season hasn't gone that way, and we still found a way to win. First half of Georgetown, Seiko gets out. He's down 2.5 games. Lamont breaks his wrist. He's out 5 weeks. Tahiro gets COVID or health concerns. He's out. Trey's out with health concerns. And so we've been good enough to win, but I said it from the start of the year, I don't know what we are until we have all our pieces. And so will we have all our pieces for Saturday? I don't know. But I know the longer we play together, the longer I have a chance to get this team all on the floor, the better we'll be. But we don't have that choice right now. We have to be ready to go on Saturday at 1:00.
Thanks.
Thanks, Bryce. John Howard.
Thanks, Mike. Coach, can you hear me?
Yep, I hear you, John.
Okay, very good. Real quick, your thoughts. You're going to be playing on CBS, the network again, second time in a week, 2 weeks in a row here. And I think the third time this season, throwing in the Michigan game. What are the benefits of playing on CBS? And do you like playing on the network?
I love it. We're a national program now, and we're getting national attention. And CBS picks those games. You know, the conference doesn't pick them, so CBS knows that San Diego State is good, that we're a draw, that we've been the best team in this league over the last 10, 12, 14 years, and they want us on national TV. And I love that opportunity to put the Aztec brand out in front of everybody, East Coast, West Coast, where it's at a time where we're not playing at midnight on the East Coast. We're playing at a time where people can watch us and get to see the Aztecs play and see what brand of basketball we play.
And do you suppose it was a no-brainer decision for the conference to assign Colorado State because it was already scheduled on CBS at a prime time once Nevada backed out?
100%. I mean, I think that's why we're playing Colorado State, because it's a national TV game. You know, that this was an opportunity to put the team picked first in Colorado State and second in the Aztecs on a national stage, and to put the Mountain West out there for the country to see. And so we look forward to that opportunity of representing the Mountain West on a big stage on Saturday.
And how important is a win against Colorado State right now for the program at this point in the season?
Yeah, you don't want to drop a home game to the team you're supposed to compete with for a title. So it's everything. We want to hold home court. I mean, it sounds odd to say it'd be an advantage to be on the road, but you try to steal one on the road knowing you come back home. So we've got a road win, and we don't want to give a home one away. So we're going to be ready to play on Saturday with who we have available for that game.